reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon.
In your pen. I got my notes in my pen.
Hopefully that's sort of would wake me up a bit.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
But isn't it too early to be drinking soda?
Nobody said that, Madison. Remember, that's the hypothetical person.
I know.
We don't have to be upset with
And
him.
guess what? I don't care.
There you go.
I mean, I do care about my body, obviously, but I don't care.
Don't care what they say.
My body, my choice.
Yeah. Do you want to read the intro or do you want me to read the intro?
As long as I'm not hurting myself, don't tell me what to do.
Exactly.
I'm going to read.
The time is 10 a.m.
Ready? Go ahead.
And yes, I definitely want to read that article. Because,
Okay.
all right.
Do you want to read this?
We rolling? All right. Thank you for tuning in to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service. My name is Madison, and I'm here with Savannah.
Hello.
We invite you to listen to our broadcast both live and on demand. Our live sessions are available on the Blind Community Thrift Store YouTube channel Monday to Friday between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. each week. Additionally, you can access on-demand content through the audio reader, access on-demand content through Additionally, you can access on-demand content through the audio reader network, which offers a wide range of audio materials for the visually impaired community. To explore content from the audio reader network, please visit us at www.reader.ku.edu. This site provides details about accessing content via Amazon Alexa, audio reader, network mobile app, and information on receiving a radio to listen to the broadcast by KSMU Radio. All broadcasts are played over KSMU's subcarrier airwaves at 67 kilohertz on 91.1 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Contact Audio Reader Network for more information on receiving a pre-programmed radio. First article of the day. Speaking of KSMU Radio, this is by the Springfield Business Journal, or SBJ. The article's title says, Ozarks Public Broadcasting Service. Wait, no, not service. Just Ozarks Public Broadcasting accepts bridge grant. This is by Claudette. Sorry if I'm getting that. Claudette Riley. Sorry if I got that wrong. This was posted yesterday at 4:42 p.m. and it says a grant awarded to Ozarks Public Broadcasting is expected to stave off additional staffing and programming cuts, at least for now. The public media outlet operated by Missouri State University. Whoops.
It's okay.
I almost clicked on that link.
It's okay. Just keep going.
The public media outlet operated by Missouri State University, home to Ozarks Public Television and Ozarks Public Radio, or KSMU, lost $1.3 million in federal funding when the U.S. Congress
Rescinded.
$1.1 billion in federal funding for public media stations in mid-2025. The annual funding, 33% of the television funding and 10% of radio funding supported local programming, community outreach, acquisition of national content, and station operations. Rachel Knight, general manager for OPB, said the outlet cut spending while looking at ways to raise additional funds. And it says, when we looked at this 1.3 million loss in the first fiscal year, we attacked it from both sides, and this is part of the revenue increase that has made it possible for us to limit our budget cuts, Knight said. All right. It continues on to say, without this money, we would have had to cut more deeply into both programs and staff. The MSU board. The MSU Board of Governors voted March 18th to accept
$678,524
from the Public Media Bridge Fund,
a philanthropic
effort to support stations that sustained a deep cut in federal funding. Knight went on to speak again, and it says it's for 1 year and it's potentially renewable, but the bridge fund will go through different stages. This is sort of a stabilization round. That's what Knight said. In the weeks before the cut, OPB was projecting $4.8 million in expenses for
Fiscal?
year in 2026. Now she says Knight says expenses were cut by more than
$500,000.
$500,000. At the start of the
Fiscal?
At the start of the fiscal year, OPB had around 43 to 45 full-time equivalents, full-time staff, part-time staff, and student workers, and 7.2 positions were cut. She said full-time cuts were made through
Attrition?
the process of not filling jobs after staffers resign or retire. There were some
Personnel?
There were some personnel cuts. There were some retirements that were scheduled to happen and some that might have happened a little sooner than anticipated, said Brad
Bodenhausen?
Vice President for Community and Global Partnerships at MSU. He goes on to say, we have seen an increase in local gifts and upgrades to contributions, a lot of local support, and found some operational effectiveness in looking at how TV, radio, and digital can combine. OPB had to, quote, make some changes that listeners could hear and OPT viewers could see, Knight said. Knight also said changes were made to weekend radio programming, including the loss of the TED Hour radio. For OPT, the Ozarks Watch video magazine, a broadcast highlighting history, highlighting local history was placed on
hiatus.
Knight's a girl.
Let's just keep saying.
We'll continue to air those programs we'll continue to air those programs, but for the time being, we're not producing the program.
He said.
And who's talking?
That's Knight.
Yeah, that's Knight talking. That's what I thought. I got it. Sorry. One of the biggest changes was to stop mailing out a monthly programming guide to members. Knight went on to say, our full schedule is available online. Then we have moved to sending out that program guide digitally via email to our members, so people are still getting it. Knight said
You're fine.
diverse
I read it for myself. Diversified.
funding and its relationship with MSU has been a strength. We always received the biggest part of our funding from our community, and that share has only grown, she said. We do receive money from the state of Missouri, a little bit, and we get some direct support from the university and then local businesses. She said viewers and listeners have stepped up their support in significant ways. If you look at the membership contributions, we're expecting to raise something like $1.7 million for our community in individual contributions in FY26, and we've raised about $1 million more than that, she said. She also says it has been incredibly moving to see the support for our public media in our community, and it's making a difference. Right? It's making all the difference in this time. Knight said the increase in local funding and the bridge gap funding provide critical short-term help, but long-term solutions are still needed. What we lost was not a one-time contribution of $1.3 million, its annual funding of $1.3 million. So this continues to be a challenge for us, Knight said. OPB has been able to access the first $400,000 of the $600
$78,524
bridge grant, and post vote will be able to draw down from the rest. Funding can only be used for public media operations, and Knight said stations that are licensed to community boards instead of the university may have a tougher time figuring out how to cover operating costs. The article ends with Knight saying, the fact that we're jointly licensed to a university and have been operating with fiscal responsibility for decades, that has brought us to a moment where we're facing this extraordinary challenge is a much healthier place, so that many stories
in a much healthier place than so many stations across the country.
Yes. Oh, that's what fiscal means?
Mhm.
Means for finance?
Mhm.
Thank you. That's it for that article. Savannah, you're up.
From the Springfield Daily Citizen, committee advances proposal to establish campaign finance limits to full city council. If approved by the Springfield City Council, contributions to candidates for mayor and council would be capped at $2,825. This article was written by Jack McGee.
You did say what the article is from, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
So the article starts with a photo of the Springfield City Council members and Mayor Jeff Schrag, who sits at the center speaking, as they attend a meeting held on Monday, April 21st, 2025. They're sitting at a table facing the audience and speaking with the City of Springfield logo behind them. Photo provided by Jen Wilson.
Oh, look, Springfield Business Journal.
After months of deliberation, the Springfield City Council's Plans and Policies Committee on Tuesday, March 17th, unanimously recommended to the full council a purpose ordinance to establish campaign contribution limits for mayoral and council candidates. Currently, there is no dollar limit on individual contributions to candidates for mayor and city council, while candidates for local office in Kansas City and St. Louis, as well as statewide and state legislative offices, are subject to contributions limits ranging from $2,000 to $3,325. In 2020, the City Council repealed existing campaign finance rules that had been nullified by an earlier change to state law. Previous attempts to reestablish contributions limits in Springfield have been unsuccessful. With the backing of the Plans and Policy Committee and a support of local civic organizations, the latest proposal appears to have a path forward. The committee is comprised of council members Abe McGoll, Heather Hardinger, Callie Carroll, and Craig Hosmer, who originally requested the topic be referred to committee for consideration. Proposal would establish 2,825 contribution limit City Ethics Commission. If approved, the proposed ordinance recommended by the committee would cap individual contributions at 2,825, the maximum contribution for statewide candidates in 2024. It would not apply to contributions from statewide political action committees. Violations would be punishable by a fine of up to $1,000 and or up to 6 months in jail. The following actions would be considered violations of the proposed ordinance. For contributors to contribute to any candidate committee, or anyone acting on behalf of a committee in excess of the limit. For a candidate committee, treasurer, or anyone acting on behalf of candidate committee to accept a contribution to excess of the limit unless it is returned to the contributor within 30 days. If an unauthorized contribution is not returned within 30 days, each day that it remains unreturned would constitute a separate offense. For anyone to make a contribution in the name of another person or allow their name to be used for such contribution, or to accept a contribution made in the name of another person. Failure to report contributions. There is a picture of Rob Yabanzi, an organizer for the Springfield Tenants unite, standing in front of a podium as he makes a speech about campaign contribution limits on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. There is a small crowd of people behind him that hold signs that have a stop sign on it that says "Stop Corporate Greed. Jobs with Justice." These violations would be subject to investigation by a new 9-member City Ethics Commission member of what would be appointed to 3-year terms by the City Council. The commission would be charged with reviewing each campaign disclosure report filed with the Missouri Ethics Commission, with the authority to investigate and address questions regarding alleged violations. Investigations into alleged violations would be initiated by the commission's own initiative, when directed by the City Council or by complaint with a majority vote of the commission. In order for a complaint to be considered for an investigation, the alleged violation would have to have occurred over the previous 2 years. Once a complaint has been filed, the commission will have 90 days to issue a ruling, excluding time granted to the subject time of the complaint, to respond with the possibility of a 90-day extension. The commission's ruling would be stipulated in a written opinion, accompanied by findings of fact, conclusions of law, and recommendations for appropriate action, potentially including prosecution. Committee members suggest separate dollar limits for in-kind contributions. There is a photo of Callie Carroll, a council member representing General Seat C, as she attends the Springfield City Council meeting held on Monday, April 21st, 2025. She is to the right of the frame wearing a teal jacket as she looks just past the camera, speaking. As proposed, the ordinance does not distinguish between cash contributions and in-kind contributions, meaning that in-kind contributions worth more than $2,825 would be prohibited. While ultimately supportive of advancing the proposal to the full City Council, some committee members exposed concerns with the same limits applying to both types of contributions as some in-kind contributions, such as event space for campaign fundraisers and billboards, can easily exceed $2,825. I'm fine with the cash limit being what it was, but the in-kind just makes it really difficult, Carroll said. McGoll suggested the possibility of establishing a separate dollar limit for in-kind contributions at $5,000. Though he would prefer the same dollar limit apply to both cash and in-kind contributions, Hosmer indicated that he was willing to accept change if it was the will of the committee. There's a photo of Craig Hosmer, General Seat B, attending the meeting of Springfield City Council on Monday, October 7th, 2024. He sits in the center frame with a navy blue suit as he talks past the camera.
Navy blue. Okay.
However, the committee opted against adding a separate dollar limit on in-kind contributions, recognizing the proposed ordinance can be amended before it goes up for final vote of the City Council. I think there are probably a couple things that some of us have thoughts on, and when we do present this to Council, I think we can talk about those things. And if we need to make amendments to it based on the will of Council, Hardinger said. City Attorney Jordan Paul said the proposed ordinance could come before Council within the next couple of meetings after the 23rd. After the March 23rd meeting. Should it pass, city staff will compile educational material from the Missouri Ethics Commission to provide prospective candidates for mayor and city council. The easy thing about this is the only thing your local ordinance does is establish a local limit, Paul said. So really all the rules, all their training materials are cross-applicable. Depending on if and when the proposed ordinance or an amended version of it is approved, the contribution limits may apply to the upcoming election cycle. 4 council seats, Zone 2, Zone 3, General C, and General D are up for election in April 2027. And that is the end of that article.
Oh, dang it, someone beat it to us. I just realized a new target just opened up, and it's right here in the newspaper.
This is the same thing that's on there.
I know, that's crazy. Speaking of crazy, this next article is from checkaday.com, and Today is. I'm really sorry.
Huh?
I'm sorry.
You're fine. It's. Do you want to read the day? I was just organizing the desk.
Oh, okay. All right. Today is National Chocolate Caramel Day. Sucks for me because I got braces.
Do you want to keep reading?
But I love chocolate. Anyway, today celebrates the blending of two sweet tooth favorites. Try saying that 3 times fast. Chocolate and caramel. They make a great pair in candy bars, ice cream, brownies, and other desserts. The famous chocolate man Milton Hershey got his start as a maker of caramels. I actually did learn about him in school one time.
Do you want to keep reading?
Yeah, I will. Before getting rid of his caramel factory and starting the Hershey Chocolate Company, he even made some chocolate-covered caramels. Oh, I didn't know that.
Do you want to keep reading?
I am. How to observe National Chocolate Caramel Day. You could celebrate the day by eating anything that mixes chocolate and caramel. Have a candy bar with chocolate and caramel, such as a Snickers, Twix, 100 Grand, or a Baby Ruth. Make yourself some caramel brownies. Have some chocolate and caramel ice cream and put some chocolate and caramel syrup on top. There are so many recipes that combine the two sweets that you could try. And that's it for that article.
All right. From the Springfield Daily Citizen, Missouri State point guard Macy James, a reflection of Lady Bear's defensive-minded approach. After helping Pittsburgh State reach the Division II Final Four a year ago, James is enjoying Division I March Madness. Article written by Ryan Collingwood.
Sorry, it just looks so good.
I know. Remember personal comments.
I got it.
The article starts with a photo of the Missouri State Lady Bears as they take on Middle Tennessee on February 5th, 2026 at the Great Southern Bank Arena. It is focused on Lady Bear number 13 as she dribbles the ball. Photo provided by Bruce E. Stidham. Austin, Texas, Middle Tennessee, guard Alanya Contreras was on a late game heater in last week's Conference USA quarterfinals, cutting Missouri State's lead to 3 in the final minute. When the Blue Raiders regained possession moments later, just about everyone in Huntsville, Alabama Propst Arena knew Contreras was going to try and send the rubber match between the two tradition-rich mid-major women's programs into overtime. Macy James didn't give her a chance. Missouri State's senior point guard ripped the ball from Contreras at the top of the key, a steal that would help preserve a 69-66 win. 2 days later in the tournament championship games, James had 5 steals and a 43-38 upset of top-seeded Louisiana Tech. It was the equivalent of a shooter's 30-point output for the defensive-minded James, who, despite constantly having the ball in her hands, is putting up an average of 2.8 field goal attempts a game. It's part of a lunch pail approach that was instilled in James well before her lone season at Missouri State. I didn't even shoot the first year I played basketball. I just did defensive drills, James said on Tuesday at Moody Arena in Austin, Texas, for the number 16 seeded Lady Bears, 22-12, will face Stephen F. Austin on Wednesday at 8 p.m. in an NCAA Tournament First Four play-in game. My dad told me if I wanted to be a winner, above all, it's about defense. There is a photo of Macy James smiling during Media Day for the 2025 basketball season. She faces the camera in her jersey with a ball in her hand. Photo by Ellie Freistack. She's clearly found her niche. James led the state of Kansas in all high school basketball classifications in steals per game, 6.8, as a senior at Goddard High. In her 49 wins in 2 seasons at Butler, Kansas Community College, she averaged 6.3 points, 6.5 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 2.7 steals. In her lone season at Pittsburgh State late season, her average of 6.3 points, 4.4 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and 1.6 steals a game helped the Gorillas reach the NCAA Division II Final Four. James transferred to Missouri State last offseason for an opportunity to lock up some of the Division I's most gifted guard and reach college basketball's most significant stage, March Madness. She's since realized a childhood dream and a season that includes averages of 3.1 points, 3.1 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and 2.4 steals, a takeaway for every turnover, 2.4 a game. You can have a bad night on offense, but not on defense, because it's all effort, James said, and that's something I think I can always bring to the table and contribute. It's been a big part of Missouri State's DNA and a topsy-turvy Conference USA debut, which saw the Lady Bears finish as number 6 seed before catching fire in postseason play. There is another photo of the Lady Bears as they sit on the bench, with Macy James sitting in the middle, while they take on the Middle Tennessee on February 15th, 2026 at Great Southern Bank Arena. She is sitting next to Lady Bear number 31 and 2 who are not named. Fourth-year Missouri State head coach Beth Cunningham liked James' selfless, gritty mentality during last year's transfer portal recruiting cycle. Cunningham had success with a previous Division II transfer point guard in Lacey Stokes, Missouri Southern, and ultimately added another. James maybe has a different story than most players in this tournament, Cunningham said Tuesday. She's played junior college, Division II, and then here for her last year. Couldn't be happier for her and the path she has taken, being here in the position to help us lead. Though on a smaller scale, James is the only player in Missouri State's roster with substantial national tournament experience. She believed it helped in the CUSA tournament and will help this week, where Missouri State can face number 1 seed and host Texas 31-3 on Friday if it can get past Stephen F. Austin. We always knew we were an NCAA tournament team. Coach gave us a belief in June that we have everything in the locker room that we need to get it done. We never wavered, even when there were some bumps in the road, James said. You can look at games in our schedule and wonder what happened there, but if it wasn't those come-to-Jesus moments, we wouldn't have won the Conference USA tournament. And that is the end of that article. Madison?
Next article is from I can never pronounce this one right.
Britannica.
Today in history, March 19th, which is, like I said, March 19th is today. First off, a featured biography, Glenn Close. If you're watching this, happy birthday. She just turned 79 today. She was born in Greenwich, Connecticut, and she was born in the year 1947. Again, happy birthday, Glenn Close. I hope you have a great time if you're watching this. Also from Britannica is a featured event that happened in 1882. And it says, construction begins on the Basilica
de la Sagrada Familia.
Ooh, muy bueno. On this day in 1882, the Bishop of Barcelona laid the cornerstone of the
Basilica de la Sagrada Familia.
Architect Francisco de Paula del Villar, sorry if I got that wrong, designed it to be a traditional Gothic revival cathedral, complete with arched windows and flying buttresses. His vision, however, differed from that of the
basilica
chief patron Jose
Joseph Maria Bosabella.
But the P is silent. Sorry. Anyway, in 1983, Del Villar resigned. He was replaced by the young architecture Antoni Gandhi, whose creativity and
Willingness?
to use color transformed the structure into the marvel it is today. That's it for that article.
All right.
I am really
From-
sorry if I got it wrong.
No, it's okay. Madison, you're fine. From the Springfield News-Leader, public forum will discuss Senate Bill 3's impact in Christian County. This article was written by Janice Reeser. A public forum is set to discuss the potential impacts of Senate Bill 3 on services in Christian County. The League of Women Voters of Southwest Missouri is hosting the event at 6 p.m. March 26 at the Life Science Center building at Ozark Tech's Richland Valley campus, room 214, with parking available in Lot A. The forum aims to help residents understand how the proposed legislation could affect local tax districts and the services they support, according to a community announcement. Senate Bill 3, if passed in April, will have an impact on our tax districts throughout Christian County. Anna Evans, Vice President of Show Me Christian County, said in the announcement, "We want to help voters understand what the impact could be before they head to the polls on April 7th. Who will be on the panel? The forum will feature a panel of local leaders who will share their perspectives on how Senate Bill 3 may affect community services and public resources in Christian County, according to the announcement. Panelists include Andrea Swope, Executive Director of Christian County Links, Lloyd Wales, Chief of the Nixa Fire Protection District, Lori Wilson, Superintendent of Ozark Public Schools, and Evans. Residents encouraged to attend. The forum offers an opportunity for community members to hear directly from those who are most familiar with the potential impacts of the bill. Community members are encouraged to attend, learn more about the proposal, and engage in an informed conversation ahead of the April election. How can I get more information? For more information, contact Lisa Londley at the League of Women Voters of Southwest Missouri at 417-827-4330. That is the end of that article.
That was short. Then again, I did a short article too.
Do you want to read the next
so
one?
we're even. Yeah. Next article is from Ozarks First, and it talks about the weather in Springfield. Right now it's 55 degrees and sunny here in Springfield. Today's forecast, the title says Summer Temperature Preview This Weekend, and this is by Tom Schmidt. Tom Schmidt. This was posted today at 4:52 a.m. and then was updated about 4 hours later-ish. The article goes on to say, we've made leaps and bounds since bottoming out in the teens on Monday morning. Wind chills on Monday morning were near 0 degrees, and yesterday we had highs in the 70s. We continue to climb the temperature ladder today through the weekend as a ridge of high pressure strengthens over the desert southwest. What's up with Mother Nature?
It's okay.
There's a picture
A graphic? There's a graphic at the top. It says weather whiplash, and it shows the weather averages for each day from Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And as I can see, Monday is at 28 degrees. Then on Tuesday, it goes up to 45. Then on Saturday and Sunday, it goes all the way up into the 80s.
Yep.
Dang. Yes, the Ozarks will land in the 80s this afternoon with plenty of sunshine, thankfully, and a light southwest breeze. Okay, making for a fantastic day. That's good. Today will be comfortable with lows around 50 by Friday morning. Okay. And this weekend looks amazing. Temperatures on Friday will begin mild and warm nicely to the mid-80s. And records should be safe on Friday, but Saturday will challenge several in the area. The record high for March 21 in Springfield is 88, set back in 1916. we're expecting highs in the upper 80s on Saturday and could easily tie the record or set a new one.
The graphics say that today is going to be in the upper 70s and 80s in each county, while tonight is going to be in the upper 40s and mostly 50s. The next graphic says tomorrow will also be in the upper 80s, while tomorrow night will be in the upper 50s and 60s, and Saturday will also be in the upper to mid 80s.
And 90s. Better bring out the shorts. As I said before, Sunday will be Sunday will largely be a nice day, although we will find a few more clouds in the sky. Well, it won't be called Sunday. A cold front will tumble through the Ozarks in the afternoon, but this time there won't be a sharp decline in the temperatures. Okay, good. Monday will be cooler in the 60s, but not cold. Warm weather will quickly return on Tuesday.
There are two graphics that show this what was described above in the paragraph in a visual format with the colors representing temperatures of where things will be, as well as the heat wave in the lower half of the United States and where the jet stream is going through the eastern side of the United States.
And as I can see, the bottom of Texas and California, they're in the warm spot.
Yes, describing the heat wave.
Right. The pattern is a quiet one, but a wetter, more active weather pattern will take shape as we near the end of the month and head into April. In the meantime, high pressure is keeping rain away from the Ozarks, at least for the next 7 days. And the article ends with another graphic, and
which describes exactly what was written in a visual format of high pressures keeping the central United States dry.
But it seems where Canada and Vancouver is, it seems they're getting all the rain.
Yeah, they're getting rain right now. All right, that is the end of that article. From the Springfield Daily Citizen, Michael Spires stars in rave-reviewed Tristan und Isolde at New York City's Metropolitan Opera. The Ozarks native will return to Springfield in April to feature an Ozarks lyric opera, The Sound of Music. Article written by Jeff Kissinger. The article starts with a photo of Michael Spires as he performs during the Tristan und Isolde at the Metropolitan Opera. Photo provided by Karen Allman, Metropolitan Opera. Internationally acclaimed tenor and Ozarks native Michael Spires is accomplishing another major career milestone this March before returning to the historic Gilloy's Theater's stage in April. Spires is starting at New York City's Metropolitan Opera in Wagner's Tristan und Isolde, which opened on March 9th and runs through April 4th. The 11 a.m. performance on March 21st can be streamed through the Met Live at Home. The fee is $20. This is Spires' Met Opera role debut as Tristan, following his Met debut as Faust in La Damnation de Faust in 2020. His career has taken him to London's Royal Opera House as well as Italy, France, Spain, Belgium, and beyond. Met Opera drawing rave reviews for Tristan und Isolde. There is a photo of Michael Spires sitting beside Lisa Davidson while performing in Wagner's Tristan and Isolde. Michael is wearing a blue ornate outfit while Lisa is wearing a green ornate outfit as they both sing. Photo provided by Karen Allman, Metropolitan Opera.
Looks pretty.
Norwegian soprano Lisa Davidson, described as one of opera's reigning divas, stars as Isolde alongside Spires. Yuval Sharon directs Tristan und Isolde in his Metropolitan Opera debut. In his Met debut, Sharon approaches Wagner's masterpiece as a meditation on reality, hallucination, and transformation, imagining the opera as one transcendent episode with an endless cycle of death and rebirth, a Metropolitan Opera media release said. Tristan und Isolde, I apologize, is drawing rave reviews from the media. Justin Davidson in New York Magazine said the show contains some of the best moments of opera I've ever heard and calls it a peak of the Met's last decade. The New York Times, meanwhile, calls it the event of the season. Spires to star in Ozark Lyric Opera's The Sound of Music. There is a photo of Michael Spires standing center stage with a large ring light behind him and several people dancing. Spires will leave this photo is provided by Karen Allman, Metropolitan Opera. Spires will leave the Metropolitan Opera's production of Tristan und Isolde following the April 2nd performance to return to Springfield and star in Ozarks Lyric Opera, The Sound of Music, on April 17th and 19th at the historic Gilloys Theater. He'll star as Captain George Von Trapp alongside Tara Stratford Spires as Maria Rayner in the beloved Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. Directed by Alice Willie Pickett and conducted by Kyle Willie Pickett, the production brings together acclaimed performers and talented young artists from across the region to present the timeless story of Maria and the Von Trapp family. An Ozark Lyric Opera media release said, Ozark's Lyric Opera's The Sound of Music is expected to sell out. The April 17th performance starts at 7:30 p.m. The evening also includes free valet parking and the Red Curtain Affair. OLO's signature opening a night celebration with food, drink, and chance to mingle with the cast. A 2:30 p.m. matinee is planned for April 19th. The performance features a buy one adult ticket, get a kids ticket pre-promotion. Tickets range from $35 to $60 and can be purchased online or by calling the Gilloys Theater box office at 417-863-9491. For more information on The Sound of Music, visit the Ozarks Lyric Opera website.
The Sound of Music. You mean that movie with Julie Andrews?
That is a performance of it, yes. Do you want to read the next article?
Next article is from 417 Magazine, and it's This Week in Springfield, Missouri. Find the best things to do this weekend in Springfield and around Southwest Missouri. And this is by, by Tyrone Shore McKee.
There you go.
All right. I thought I was going to get the name wrong.
You're good.
All right. This was posted today at 8 a.m. Oh, so not too long ago. There's a photo at the beginning of the article, courtesy, courtesy, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, photo courtesy of
Finley Farms. This weekend, Finley Farms hosts a beer release on Friday, a mushroom dinner on Saturday. That's what it says in the bolted letters.
Yes.
Not bold.
In the caption. The photo is of Finley Farms.
That's pretty. Where is that?
Finley Farms.
Sorry, it just looks pretty. If the past few days felt like a little weather whiplash, you're not alone. Snow on Sunday, below freezing temperatures Monday, and sunshine in mid-80s. By the weekend, it can only mean one thing. Spring has arrived in the Ozarks. Woohoo! And right on cue, as the first official day of the season is this Friday, March 20th. With longer days and mostly warmer temperatures, the events calendar is really starting to fill out. This week brings a little of everything from wide open boots on the ground excitement to the Ozarks Empire PRCA Pro Rodeo to a lineup of unique after dark happenings at Finley Farms, a much anticipated Cardinals exhibition game, and plenty of live performances. First up, March 19th to 21st at
Springfield Comedy Club.
But is
K. Trevor Wilson.
Is there someone out there named K. Trevor Wilson?
Yes. How about we keep reading?
Sorry. K. Trevor Wilson at the Springfield Comedy Club. Head to Springfield Comedy Club for a night of laughs with the man mountain of comedy, comedian K. Trevor Wilson. Okay. He's best known for his role as Squirrely Dan on Canadian series Letter Kenny, as well as appearances on A&E's Breakout Kings and Jimmy Kimmel Live. Oh, I heard of Jimmy Kimmel. Sorry. $39.99 early. $33.99
dollars.
Early and late shows Friday and Saturday. Oh, I thought that was saying I thought $33.99 was another one of his TV shows.
You're okay.
March 20th, Golden Hour Beer Party launch.
Beer launch party.
I was half right. Like I said before, at Finley Farms. Celebrate the debut of Finley Farms' new craft beer, created in partnership with a 4x4 brewing company and brewed with barley milled on site at the historic Ozark Mill. Head to the workshop patio for first pours, live music, wood-fired pizza, and a behind-the-scenes look at the brewing process, which brought the mill back to life after several decades. 4 to 9 p.m., 21 and up. From March 20th to 21, at the Ozark Empire PRCA Pro Rodeo at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds, saddle up for 2 thrilling nights of watching top cowboys and cowgirls rope, ride, and race inside the fairgrounds Wilson
Logistics
Arena, 8 p.m. nightly. The cost is $23.50 to $55. Prices increase day of. 2 things you can do on March 21st. First up is the Blackberry Smoke, Rattle, Ramble, and Roll Tour at the Gilloy Theater. Hailing from Georgia, Blackberry Smoke has been making music for 2 decades. The band's 2021 album, You Hear Georgia, topped the Billboard Americana Folk Albums chart, and 2024's Be Right Here reached the top 5 on the top current album sales chart. It costs $49 to
$323.
Yes, $323
At 7:30 p.m.
Once again at Finley's Farms, also on March 21st. If you don't want to do the Rattle, Ramble, and Roll Tour, then head on to the Mushroom Dinner at the farm at Finley's Farms. Gather around a table in Finley's Farms Mushroom Yard for a 5-course
vegetarian
dinner that highlights mushrooms in every course, along with drink pairings. You'll even get a chance to get hands-on by
inoculating
your own mushroom log to take home so you can enjoy fresh mushrooms in your own home cooking. It costs $140 to do that, and it's at 4 p.m. March 23rd, Cards versus Cards
exhibition
game. It's at Hammond Field. Cheer on the Springfield Cardinals as the team hosts the St. Louis Cardinals at home for a preseason exhibition game. This marks St. Louis's first visit to Hammond Field since 2017. It'll start at 7:05 p.m. Tickets will start at $19. March 23rd to 29th is Queen City Shout at multiple venues. This 15th annual week-long citywide celebration of the arts takes over Springfield with more than 100 live performances, poetry readings, film screenings, dance, and visual arts. Catch events at dozens of venues throughout C Street,
Roundtree.
and downtown, all while supporting both local artists and
Poverty.
relief. March 24th, Swan Lake International Ballet Stars will be performing at Hammond's Hall for the Performing Arts. Presented by Classical Arts Entertainment, this production of
Pyotr Elish Chvatsky's
Swan Lake. This show features unique hand-painted sets and talented ballet artists from across the globe, including places like Spain, Brazil, Japan, Moldova, and the United Kingdom, Ukraine, and many other countries. The cost is going from $33 to $96, and the show will start at 7 p.m. Ooh, this is what I'm excited about. March 25th, you can paint a splash with mermaids at the Wonders of Wildlife. Spend an evening at the aquarium creating your own colorful mermaid-inspired masterpiece with a step-by-step guidance from an instructor. And if you want more of the mesmerizing, shimmery, tail-wearing sea creatures, don't miss live mermaids at Wonders of Wildlife throughout the month. $35, 6 to 8 p.m., and kids 11 and up are welcome. That's it for that article.
All right. From the Springfield Daily Citizen, Ozarks Tech hires new foundation director, expands role. Stephanie Matthews chosen to lead college's philanthropic efforts as it increases its outreach to alumni. Article written by Joe Hadsall. The article starts with a picture of a welcome to OTC sign in front of a booth where it says your tour starts here. A new foundation director helps Ozarks Technical Community College shore up on a key position for its future. The college this week announced that Stephanie Matthews has been chosen to be the executive director of the Ozarks Tech Foundation, which manages gifts and donations made to the college. She brings more than 2 decades of experience in education and financial sectors to the position and pairs the two fields well, said Chancellor Hal Hidgen. Stephanie has deep understanding of higher education and a remarkable ability to build strong relationships throughout our community, Hidgen said in a press release. Her leadership will elevate the Ozarks Tech Foundation's work and expand opportunities for donors to transform lives through education. Matthews will get to work on April 1st and earn an annual salary of $160,000. She will lead fundraising and philanthropic efforts that support the college, collaborate with the foundation's board, and develop relationships with the donors for new building projects and scholarships. There is a photo of Stephanie Matthews as she sits center frame of the camera. A photo provided by Ozarks Tech. The hire represents the creation of a new post. A vacancy created last year placed more emphasis on the foundation's importance, said Amy Peoples, Executive Vice Chancellor for External Relations and Chief of Staff. Peoples also served as the foundation's director. We examined the need of the college both now and in the future and made the decision that increased support for the foundation was a priority, Peoples said in an email. We reallocated the vacancy to create a full-time executive director for the foundation. It is in line with a new philosophy on contacting alumni. Founded in 1990, Ozarks Tech is relatively young compared to other higher education institutions in the Ozarks. But Peoples last year said that despite the age, students identify strongly with the college, even if they transfer elsewhere for a bachelor's degree. Last July, the college launched a fundraiser for placing names on paving bricks in Clock Tower Plaza being built outside the Michael Parsons Student Union. It was fueled by a $25,000 gift from the graduates Paul and Crystal Sunday, co-owners of Big Whiskies. Ozarks Tech is a powerful engine of workforce development and economic growth in Southwest Missouri, Matthews said in a press release. The Ozarks Tech Foundation plays a vital role in advancing excellence across the college and throughout our region. I'm excited to work with donors and partners who want to invest in that mission. Matthews previously worked as vice president and a manager of business development at Simons Bank. Before that, she worked as a director of corporate and foundation relations for the Missouri State University Foundation. She's also served on several nonprofit boards, including United Way of the Ozarks, Springfield Dream Center Advisory Board, and the Ambassadors Committee of the Springfield Area Chamber of Commerce. She earned a bachelor's degree in psychology from the Southwest Baptist University and a master's degree in administrative studies from Missouri State University. And that is the end of that article.
You just read that one.
Oops. Okay. Do you want to press the next one?
I seem to have the same article
It's
on
okay.
the computer.
Just press the next one.
Next article is by Springfield Daily Citizen. Company's proposal for 24-hour cannabis drive-thrus in Springfield hits pause. Hang on. Excuse me. All right. This is by Ryan Collins. There's a little note under the article, and it says the operator of
Terabis Dispensary
submitted the application to amend Springfield City Code to allow dispensaries to offer drive-through services 24 hours a day, 7 days per week. There's a picture of the building.
Terabis Dispensary.
A drive-through, and it seems to be a cloudy day, and there's no cars in the parking lot. That's pretty much all the picture is showing.
Mm-hmm. Photo provided by Ellie Freistick.
This place is located off of Kearney Street and Kellett.
Kearney and, Kellett Avenue.
All right. Again, the company behind a proposal to amend city code to allow
Cannabis?
dispensaries to operate drive-thrus for 24 hours a day is hitting pause to reconfigure the proposal. A proposal to extend the hours of operations of cannabis dispensary drive-thrus to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week was submitted to the Springfield Planning and Zoning, or P&Z Commission, and staff prepared a developed review report. The matter was initially set to go before the commission March 12th before being postponed. The application to amend the Springfield City Code was submitted by the operator of
Terabis
Dispensary V3MO Vending 5 LLC. Currently, Springfield law dictates that drive-thrus are only operable during normal dispensary business hours from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Nick Lyromatis, co-founder and chief legal officer of Terabis, said the cannabis company plans to move forward with the
amendment proposal.
But the nature of the proposal might change as the company incorporates information presented in the staff report. There's just too many words, you know.
It's okay.
The timeline to resubmit the application is still being deliberated internally. After receiving this staff report at the same time as everybody. We recognize that we wanted to address some of these concerns, and we are going to work through that
Prudently.
which is why I'm not creating any sort of deadline to get back on the P and Z agenda. Lio
Romanta.
said by phone on March 17th. It ends with him saying, "I want to do something that makes sense for both the customer and the community." Terabis compares cannabis access to pharmacies. It shows the same building again, and it shows the building.
It shows the building, but this time at the side of the drive-through, and shows off the drive-through window.
And it still looks empty. Photo by Ellie Freistack. In the application, Terabis said it seeks to change city code to, quote, better serve customers whose schedules or medical needs require extended access to cannabis products outside current permitted operating hours, according to the Planning and Zoning Development Review Staff Report. Alright, there are 9 marijuana dispensaries within Springfield city limits, according to the P&Z report. The amended city code would allow all dispensaries with a drive-through to operate during the extended hours from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., just not Terabis. In its application, Terabis said patients who use marijuana for medical purposes need access to the drug outside standard business hours. Some patients with chronic pain, epilepsy, or even cancer may experience symptoms that require immediate medication access. Other patients may have conflicting work schedules that require access outside of the current operating hours in Springfield, such as healthcare workers, first responders, and service industry employees, according to the application. Terabis said medical marijuana patients deserve the same access to their medicine as those who use prescriptions. Springfield permits 24-hour pharmacies. Denying 24-hour access to medical cannabis while permitting such access for traditional prescription medications creates an arbitrary and discriminatory distinction between equally legitimate medical treatments, the company stated in its application. Other Missouri cities have proposals to change cannabis drive-through hours. Terabis, once again located at 850 East Kearney Street, operates a Missouri certified dispensary in Springfield. The company operates at least 9 dispensaries in Missouri and Illinois, according to the company website. The P&Z staff report said there don't appear to be any other larger Missouri cities that have recently changed their regulations to allow for 24/7 drive-through marijuana facilities. However, both Kansas City and St. Louis have proposals that may change the typical dispensary hours of operation, according to the staff report. In Kansas City, a proposal would allow dispensaries to operate 24/7, but only if the dispensary is located at least 1,000 feet away from a residential zoned area. In St. Louis, a bill was introduced that would allow dispensaries to operate until midnight. A Terabis dispensary in O'Fallon, Missouri, operates drive-through services until midnight Wednesday through Saturday, according to the company website, and Missouri's Constitutional Amendment 3 does not impose restrictions on operating hours of licensed cannabis facilities. The amendment
Delegates
authority to local governments to regulate operating hours operating hours of cannabis facilities. There's a picture of members of the Springfield Planning and Zoning Commission as they're having a meeting on Tuesday, September 11th, 2025. This photo was taken by Jim Wilson, and the title above it says, P&Z not likely to vote on application until May or later. The Springfield Police Department, quote, sees a number of negative aspects with this proposed change, according to the staff report. Police said the hours of operation for dispensaries were set to balance community interests and business interests. The police department said amending the drive-through services hours could set a dangerous
precedent
for businesses selling intoxicating recreation products, according to the report. That part was in quotes. Alcohol sales in Springfield are limited to 6 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. Lyra Mattis said that Terabis plans to work with the police department before it resubmits the amendment application to calm police concerns. Terabis is reviewing its application and it will change before it's resubmitted to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Lyra
Mattis
said. The company may withdraw the 24 hours a day and instead put up a text amendment in front of the commission that calls for extended drive-through hours past the 10 p.m. decline, but not for full 24-hour access. The company is still deliberating internally. It's not clear when the application will be resubmitted to P&Z. Bob Hosmer, planning manager, said the commission will treat the updated application essentially as a new application. The commission will need ample time to do another staff report on the updated application before it is voted on by the commission. Hosmer says staff needs about 15 days after the application is submitted to release the staff report. Because of that timeline, the earliest application will be taken up by P&Z and will likely be sometime done in May.
All right.
Read that part.
The Blind Community Thrift Store is a spacious 17,000 square foot thrift store located in Springfield, Missouri. It holds the distinction of being the first retail store worldwide to incorporate Navi lens technology, which significantly enhances accessibility for the blind, visually impaired, and non-English speaking individuals. This innovative system enables customers to navigate and shop with minimal assistance, fostering independence and confidence. The store operates as a nonprofit organization dedicated to generating funds that support the provision of adaptive technology and training for the blind and visually impaired community, often at little to no cost. Visitors can learn more about the organization and access its services by visiting the store in person at 2713 North Kansas Expressway, Springfield, Missouri, or by exploring the website at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The website offers comprehensive information about the store's mission, services, and opportunities for community involvement, as well as details about the free store available to residents in the Springfield area.
Little fun fact, this Blind Community Thrift Store used to be a movie theater in the 80s.
All right. Do you want me to read the next article, or do you want to read the next article?
Hang on, which article am I on?
I'm going to go ahead and read the next article.
Yeah, you do that.
All right. From the Springfield Daily Citizen, Eroka Concert, a night of musical revelation and triumph with Springfield Symphony. Sponsored by the Springfield Symphony Orchestra. There is a photo of Kyle Wilde-Pickett leading the Springfield Symphony. Photo provided by Springfield Symphony Orchestra. He stands guiding the symphony as they play. On April 4th, 2026, The Springfield Symphony Orchestra will bring one of the most powerful programs in the orchestral canon to life at Juanita K. Hammond Hall for the Performing Arts. Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto in D major, followed by Ludwig van Beethoven's Heroic Symphony No. 3 in E flat major, Op. 55, better known as Eroica. The night promises a blend of sublime lyrical playing, emotional intensity, and dramatic orchestral force that will leave audiences exhilarated. At the heart of this concert stands a returning star, Aubrey Oliverson, whose remarkable debut with the symphony last season captured the heart of our audience. Originally brought in at last-minute substitute for the March 2025 program, Oliverson's performance was nothing short of electrifying, prompting the orchestra to invite her back for this season's Eroica concert. Aubrey Oliverson stands in an orange floral dress as she plays the violin for the Springfield Symphony in 2025 at center stage. Photo provided by Springfield Symphony Orchestra. A rising star returns. Oliverson is one of today's most compelling young violinists, widely praised for her combination of technical prowess, expressive lyricism, and genuine musical engagement. Described by critics as having a powerful, brimming with confidence and joy sound, she has forged a dynamic solo career that already includes performances with ensembles across the United States and Europe. Her musical roots trace back to an early start in violin performance. Born and raised in Utah, Oliverson made her solo debut with the Utah Symphony at age 11 and went on to give a recital at Carnegie Hall's Well Hall at age 12, launching what would become a steadily ascending professional journey. The momentum only continued as she gained national attention through appearances on NPR's From the Top and winning prestigious accolades such as U.S. Presidential Scholar in the Arts Award, one of the highest national honors for young artists in the United States. Since then, Oliverson has become known for her diverse repertoire and adventurous programming. She balances beloved standard concertos with lesser-known works, championing both while maintaining an unmistakable personal voice as a performer. Her 2025-2026 season reflects the breadth, featuring engagements with symphonies large and small, from the Thailand Philharmonic Orchestra to the Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra, and appears at many major festivals across the world. When Oliverson took the stage in Springfield last season, 2025, stepping in at short notice, her performance of Sibelius Violin Concerto in D major was instantly memorable. Her playing combined stunningly secure technique with rich emotional depth, captivating the audience from the opening phrase to the final cadence. The response was so overwhelmingly positive that the symphony quickly extended a return invitation for the season. Her performance this season is sponsored by Dr. Loretta Knudsen and Dr. Gary Soderberg. There is a photo of Willie Pickett giving a pre-concert talk to audiences in the 2025 season. Photo provided by Springfield Symphony Orchestra. He stands next to his podium as he speaks into a microphone towards the audience. Community and conversation. In the days leading up to the concert, audiences have also have the opportunity to connect with Oliverson and the music in a more informal setting through the symphony's Behind the Baton series. These pre-concert discussions, moderated by Maestro Pickett, offer insights into the program and allow patrons to meet the guest artists before the big night. A session with Oliverson on April 2nd provides a chance to hear her thoughts on the repertoire and her artistic process. Learn more at https://www.springfield-mo-symphony.org/before-after-the-concert/ Beethoven's Eroica, a work of revolution and triumph. Following the violin concerto, the symphony will perform Beethoven's Eroica Symphony, one of the most revolutionary works in the orchestral literature. Premiered in 1805, Beethoven's Third Symphony overturned classical conventions with its bold scale, emotional depth, and structural innovations. It's a work that embraces both human struggle and heroic triumph, transforming the symphony into a vehicle for profound expression. The Eroica remains a central touchstone for orchestras and audiences, representing Beethoven's personal artistic breakthrough and a turning point in Western music history. And its first movement blazes with energy and defiance. The Funeral March Second movement confronts grief and loss with solemn dignity. The Scherzo dances with exuberant life. And the triumphant finale brings the symphony to an unforgettable close. Performed by the Springfield Symphony under musical director Kyle Wild-Pickett, the Eroica will take on fresh resonance alongside Tchaikovsky's Visceral Concerto. Together, the works illustrate the range of human experience from intimate introspection to heroic resolution and invite listeners on a journey that transcends time and genre. There's another photo of Aubrey Oliverson performing with the Springfield Symphony in 2025. It is a different angle of her playing on the violin in her floral orange dress. This photo is provided by Springfield Symphony Orchestra. A Night to Remember. For classical music lovers in Springfield and beyond, the Eroica concert represents not just an evening of extraordinary music, but a celebration of artistic resilience and community connection. Aubrey Oliverson's return embodies the very spirit of creativity and excellence that defines the Springfield Symphony Orchestra's commitment to its audience. Whether you are a longtime subscriber or a first-time concertgoer, this performance promises to leave an impression. And that is the end of that article.
Next article is from Springfield Daily Citizen. Dog boarding company plans Springfield facility with pool spa. Pool, spa near Costco. Because I said it as two things.
It's okay.
There's a message below it, and it says Canine's Hideaway new location will feature spa services and will include an in-ground pool for the canine guests. This is by Ryan Collins and was published yesterday. First off in the article, there's a drone's point of view of a picture, a rendering showing the Canine Hideaway, showing its new proposed location next to Costco off of Highway 65 and Chestnut Expressway. And this photo is provided by Canine Hideaway. After 2 years of operations, dog boarding company Canine Hideaway is planning a massive expansion that will include a new 6,000 square,
Yep.
6,000? 6,000 foot square building next to Costco off of Highway 65 and Chestnut Expressway in Springfield. Canine Hideaway was started by former Greene County former Greene County Sheriff's Office Deputy James Craig
Nile.
in 2024. What's that?
Craig Nile?
Craig Nile, what, Mile or?
Craig Mile.
Yeah, because it's M, not N. Craig Mile announced the new facility in a video posted to the company Facebook page on March 16th. In the article itself, there's a link that you can click on where it says, in a video posted, there's a line underneath the text where you can...
Where it links back to the Facebook page.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get at. Not mad at you. The new construction will include boarding rooms, indoor and outdoor day care space, and training grounds. Excuse me. Canine Hideaway's new location will also feature spa services and will include an in-ground pool for the canine guests. Something big is happening at Canine Hideaway, and it's happening right here at Chestnut and 65 by Costco, Craig Miles said in the video. The company's first location for luxurious dog
Boarding.
I keep wanting to say boarding is located near the intersection of Plainview Road and Campbell Avenue. Craig Miles has been planning the new ground-up Springfield expansion for at least a year. This new facility will keep in line with the company's commitment to dog luxury, which includes amenities like a 2-story playground at the original location. Ooh, a 2-story playground. Besides an in-ground pool and plenty of play areas, Craig Miles hints that the new facility will come soon. Will come with some other cool features there that the company cannot disclose at this time. As the build completes, we will be able to release them, but it'll be some unique features that'll probably
people
haven't seen a lot of the other facilities. That's what Craig Miles said. So new technology.
We don't know. They have not said it yet. Maybe if we keep reading, we'll find out.
I got it, yeah. When completed, the Springfield facility will be the third location for the Canine Hideaway. Besides the original Nixa store, the company operates a larger boarding and training facility in Republican. Sorry again.
A smaller boarding and training facility in Republic.
Sorry,
Okay.
I got cut off.
Okay.
Craig Miles said he already had his eyes on the property that will make the fourth Canine Hideaway location. 8-month construction timeline for state-of-the-art facility. There's a rendering photo.
Mm-hmm.
It's showing Canine's Hideaway new proposed location next to Costco off of Highway 65 and Chestnut Expressway. Once again, this photo is provided by Canine Hideaway. And it looks more cleaner. There's a bricked up entrance. There's plants. Not the sidewalk. The road is cleanly paved.
The computer rendering shows what the proposed front of the building will look like, with a drop-off area, as well as plants in front of the windows and a sign that says Canine Hideaway at the top.
Oh, and it's got an overview for cars in case it was like bad weather. The company hopes to break ground on this new facility in May, Craig Miles said by the phone on March 17th. Construction should take about 8 months for the metal frame building. Craig Miles said the top-of-the-line luxury boarding and day care facility will have calming suites that are as soundproof as we can make them. It's going to have a state-of-the-art training center inside of it to train real-world scenarios for dogs, Craig Miles said. It'll be able to have law enforcement and military working dogs, search and rescue dogs in the area. The building itself will also have luxurious features like a covered drop-off lane, Craig Miles said. I wasn't far off. So the clients can pull up, whether it's raining or whether it's snowing outside, and they're able to get out of their car without slipping and falling or having to wrangle their dog out and getting their dog into their clothes all dirty right before work, Craig Miles said. And them getting tangled in the leashes too. All in all, Canine Hideaway's newest facility is expected to cost just north of $3 million, Craig Miles said. On March 2nd, another company registered to Craig Miles, Kion
House
LLC purchased the property that encompasses 280 North Eastgate Avenue and 3935 East Olive Street. The property was appraised at $916,500 according to Greene County Assessor's Office records. Rezoning goes before City Council on March 23rd. Property leaves expansion room. Also, so that's what that Z means in the public zoning area.
Do you want to describe the picture?
It's just a blank piece of.
The picture is the proposed location for the Canine Hideaway. It shows an open field with as Madison mentioned, a orange Z sign to mark the proposed location.
Public zoning signs. I see those all over the place.
Yes, for the Canine Hideaway. There is a Mr. Car Wash and Menards in the background to place where this would be. Photo by Ryan Collins.
Oh, and an Olive Street in the background too.
Mm-hmm.
Although I can't see it's all right. This photo was taken by Ryan Collins. Continuing, a building project permit for Canine Hideaway was submitted in early February to the City of Springfield. The project, located at 3635 East Olive Street, was under review as of March 17th. The Springfield Planning and Zoning Commission, so that's what that sign is, held a public hearing on the company's application to rezone just over 2 acres to general retail district from planned development. The commission recommended approval by a vote of 7-1. Springfield City Council will vote on the zoning change for the property on March 23rd. Craig Miles said the property is big enough that there are further expansions that can happen further down the line, but the owner has no plans to lease out the land to another company, but purchase the extra space for a Canine Hideaway to grow into. The article ends with Craig Miles saying, "We have the capabilities of doubling the size of the building on the property and tripling the size of our daycare yards." That's for that article. Here you go.
From the Springfield News-Leader, Springfield IT Director Neil Slagel, retiring March 27th. Article written by Janice Reeser. Neil Slagel, Springfield's Director of Informational Systems, is retiring March 27th, according to a community announcement. His tenure began at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, with Slagel leading the transition to remote work for city operations. He also oversaw the implementation of an enterprise resource planning system for permitting and revamped the city's network infrastructure, according to the announcement. Slagel introduced annual application security reviews, cloud software as a service, purchasing terms, and enhanced cybersecurity controls. Pioneering security initiatives. He pioneered a public-private partnership with the Missouri Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, allowing local college students to perform the city's annual penetration testing. The initiative was the first of its kind in the country, according to the announcement. The article is broken up by a photo of Neil Slagel, provided by the City of Springfield. He is wearing a brown tweed jacket and a light blue shirt as he faces the camera and smiles. A reflection on his tenure. I am immensely proud and thankful for the staff of the IS team who provided all centralized IT services to the City of Springfield, Slagel said in the announcement. Without them, the city would not be able to function. They go above and beyond every day. I wish there was more time. I have always said to city leadership that if the city gave me twice the staff, I would get twice the work accomplished. Interim leadership announced. Colin Quigley, Deputy City Manager, praised Slagel's contributions in the announcement. Neil has been an invaluable partner to every department at the city, Quigley said in the announcement. His leadership guided us through some of our most complex technology challenges, and he consistently delivered solutions that strengthened both our operations and our security. We are grateful for his service, his steady hand during times of rapid change, and the legacy of innovation he leaves behind. We wish Neil the very best in his well-earned retirement. After retirement, Schlegel plans to dedicate more time to his role on the board of Kansas City's FBI Infragard chapter. Assistant Director of IS, Nicole Plowman, will manage IS responsibilities in the interim. And that is the end of that article.
Sorry. Next up from Springfield Daily Citizen, what are ETFs and why are they getting more popular? This is sponsored by Forviz Mazars.
Forviz Mazars, yep.
Like I said, the name before, there's a picture of that building.
Forviz Mazars building with the sign stating Forviz Mazars at the very top.
Right, I was just going to say that and nothing else. Should I read this part?
Go ahead and start the article. You can say it's written by.
Oh, okay. It's by this article was written by Stephanie Hurt. All right, trying to figure the word.
It's okay.
All right. Exchange traded funds, or ETFs, are a pool of assets professionally managed to a stated specific investment objective, much like traditional open-end mutual funds. ETFs and mutual funds can both be great vehicles for investors to achieve diversified exposure to a wide array of asset classes. Asset classes.
Good job.
Where they mainly differ is how they're created and redeemed and how they're traded. These differences and how they can affect outcomes These differences and how they can affect outcomes are driving ETF growth as well as asset flows from mutual funds to ETFs. How are ETFs different from mutual funds? ETFs trade similarly to stocks, which is quite different from how mutual funds trade. Mutual fund trades can be submitted anytime throughout the day, but are only executed?
Yeah.
After market close, once the fund's net assessed value, or the NAV, has been calculated. EFT trades, on the other hand, can be executed throughout the day at real-time prices and can even be
Executed?
Yeah, I can say it once, I can say it again. It can be executed during the extended hours trading.
Mm-hmm.
So many similar words, you know?
It's okay.
I know. All mutual fund trades involve a fund manager. Buys add cash to the fund manager.
To the fund?
Buys add cash to the fund for the manager to invest, and sales take cash out of the fund, potentially causing the manager to sell securities they wouldn't otherwise choose to sell. The ETF manager doesn't necessarily need to get involved in ETF trades because ETF investors can trade among themselves on the stock exchange without their actions impacting the underlying fund holds. If an imbalance between the buys and sells of an ETF arises, a mechanism is in place to manage demand for the ETF through a unique creation and redemption process. This process allows the investor to liquidate their ETF holding without the ETF manager necessarily having to sell the underlying securities. And because the ETFs trade similarly works like Because ETFs trade similarly to stocks, they can be shorted, and investors can benefit from many brokerage firms not changing commissions on stock trades. Brokerage firms can charge commissions on some mutual fund trades depending on the
Brokerage.
firm's agreement with the mutual fund company. ETF investors are also are not subject to the potential for a myriad of additional charges, such as front-end loads, back-end loads, 12B,
12B.
12B to 1 distribution fees,
Mhm.
or short-term redemption fees that some mutual fund investors pay. Not all mutual funds may be available to trade with a specific brokerage firm, and purchases may be subject to minimum purchase amounts, or an investor may need to meet certain qualifications. ETF investors will not face these challenges, but ETF trades must frequently be executed in whole number shares. Mutual funds can be traded in dollar amounts or share amounts, including fractional share amounts. From a trading perspective, ETFs have an edge over mutual funds in many cases. Can you get the last part?
Capital gains and ETFs. Over the past decade, there have been significant growth in ETFs. While mutual funds have coincidentally experienced strong outflows, according to Morningstar Direct, ETF net inflows reached nearly $900 billion in 2024, while mutual fund net outflows reached over $400 billion.
What's with the 1 and the 2 right here?
Those are references at the end of the article.
Okay.
One cause of the shift has been the relative tax efficiency offered by ETFs. Mutual funds and ETFs can aid investors in building diversified portfolios, but investors give up some control over the tax consequences stemming from their investment holdings. When investors buy and sell individual securities such as stocks and bonds, they're in control of when to sell a security and potentially realize a capital gain, which they'll then have to pay tax on. Investors do not have the same level of control with mutual funds and ETFs. Mutual funds and ETFs are required to distribute their income, net realized capital gains to shareholders each year to comply with U.S. tax laws and not be taxed at the fund level. If investment changes were made within a fund during the year such that a net capital gain is realized that will result in the investor receiving a capital gain distribution they will then pay tax on. Even if they didn't sell any of their holdings that year, investors may even have to pay tax on a capital gains. Do you want to take the lid off?
Yeah.
On a capital gain distribution in a year such as 2022, when most investors lost money. Turnover of the investment within the fund, investors leaving the fund, forcing asset sales, or a combination of the two, would be expected to substantially increase the odds of a capital gains distribution. It's okay, regardless of the performance of the fund for that year. While it's possible for ETFs to have capital gains distributions, it's quite uncommon. The unique creation and redemption process used by ETFs allow the investor to liquidate their ETF holding without the ETF manager necessarily having to sell the underlying securities and triggered realized gains for the ETF. In-kind transactions may not be allowed in certain cases, or the manager may have difficulty trading complex securities in kind, which could lead to a capital gains distribution from an ETF according to Invesco. 64% of U.S. equity mutual funds paid a capital gain distribution in 2024. The average annual distribution for these funds ranged from 5% to 8% of the fund's net asset value over the past 10 years. Comparatively, over 2% of ETFs distributed a capital gain greater than 1% in 2024. As investors became more aware of the added after-tax costs of mutual benefits, the benefits of ETFs are clear. Increased adoption of ETFs. Several shifts have occurred in the marketplace over the last decade that paved the way for greater ETF adoption in 2019. In 2019, the SEC adopted a rule that modernized the regulations surrounding ETFs by establishing a clear and consistent framework and reducing the time or expense associated with launching a new ETF. As a result, the number of U.S. ETFs doubled from 1,900 in 2019 to 3,800 by 2024. In 2021, the SEC approved one asset manager's plan to convert $30 billion worth of mutual fund assets to ETFs of the same strategy. When to consider mutual funds. With the advantages offered by ETFs, why would investors continue to hold or buy mutual funds? Investors may want to use a specific actively managed strategy in their portfolio, and that strategy may not be offered in an ETF version. The tax advantages of ETFs are relevant within tax advantage accounts such as individual retirement accounts, IRAs, Roth IRAs, 401k plans, and the like. If an investor is holding a mutual fund in a taxable account, and that holding has a substantial unrealized gain, the investor may determine it isn't worth it to switch because of the tax consequences of liquidation. However, this dynamic could change. In September 2025, the SEC approved an asset manager's plan to offer dual share classes, in which funds may be offered in both mutual fund and ETF format. Some asset managers may even allow investors to seamlessly convert certain mutual fund share classes to equivalent ETFs without any additional tax consequences. Industry leaders expect this trend to continue as more asset managers offer both versions of their funds for added flexibility and tax efficiency. The recent regulatory changes, as well as ongoing innovation by the asset management industry, will likely continue to fuel the increased adoption of ETFs by investor and drive asset flows from mutual funds to ETFs. How Forvis Mazar, private client, can help.
Hang on. Thank you, Savannah. I got the rest. All right. Thank you for that. All right. Continuing the article. Thank you, Savannah. How Forvis Mazar's private client can help, as Savannah noted. Understanding tax implications and consequences is an important part of any financial strategy. Excuse me. Our teams are passionate about providing integrated tax, planning, and wealth management services, synchronized to help meet your needs. We don't just manage investments, we look deeper to help identify both risks and opportunities for those who serve and are focused on helping our clients thrive. If you have any questions or need assistance, please reach out to a professional at
Forvis Mazars.
Should I read these off too?
That is the sponsored note disclaimer, and that is the references. So you can read the references if you'd like.
Okay. So number 1 says U.S. fund flows picking up steam in 2024. Morningstar.com, January 21st of 2025. Number 2, tax efficiency of ETFs, jpmorgan.com, October 28th, 2024. And number 3, understanding capital gains, how ETFs can help minimize taxes, Invesco.com, July 2025.
Awesome.
Should I read that part too?
No, you're good.
Okay.
All right.
But what was with the dates?
Those were when the articles were posted.
Okay.
From the Springfield News-Leader, Rachel Walsh steps in to lead Better Block SGF's next chapter. Article written by Janice Reeser. Better Block SGF has named Rachel Walsh as its first executive director, marking a new phase of growth for the organization. Walsh, who began her role March 9th, brings nearly a decade of nonprofit leadership experience. According to a community announcement, she previously served as Vice President of Development at Care to Learn and spent 7 years at United Way of the Ozarks in a similar role. Walsh has been a member of the Better Block SGF Board of Directors since January 2025. The article is paused to show a photo of Rachel Walsh as she is center frame of the camera with a sunny with a backdrop of a sunny outdoors as she wears a blue blazer. Photo provided by Better Block SGF. Her backgrounds include fundraising, strategic planning, marketing, communications, volunteer engagement, and systems development. I'm honored and excited to lead Better Block SGF into its next phase of growth, Walsh said in the announcement. This is an exciting time in our city. I believe deeply in creating spaces where people can gather, connect, and experience the places that make them fall in love with Springfield. I look forward to building strong partnerships and helping strengthen our neighborhoods in meaningful, lasting ways. New role to expand collaboration. As Executive Director, Walsh will oversee the organization's strategic direction, daily operations, and community partnerships. She will work alongside board members, volunteers, community leaders, and stakeholders to expand Better Block's SGF's impact. Rachel's leadership and commitment to community-centered development uniquely positioned her to guide Better Block SGF into its next chapter, said Andrew Doolittle, board president of Better Block SGF. Better Block SGF supports community-centered revitalization efforts that strengthen neighborhoods, foster economic vitality, and create vibrant, people-focused places across Springfield. The organization has been involved in various projects aimed at enhancing the quality of life in Springfield. Walsh's appointment is expected to help guide strategic planning efforts and expand collaboration with neighborhoods, developers, and the city of Springfield. All right. Next article.
Right. This one looks kind of tough to read, but I can do it. Okay. Right. From Springfield News-Leader, this is about politics.
I don't think so.
No?
It's just talking about. How about you read the article?
Okay. This is by Rudy Keller. Judge again considers signatures on Missouri redistricting
Referendum.
Okay. A petition to force a statewide vote on Missouri's
Petition.
a petition to. Hold on. Sorry about that. I don't know who was trying to call me. And anyways, starting over. A petition to petition, sorry, to force a statewide vote on Missouri's gerrymandered
congressional map.
Okay, was less than 200 signatures away from meeting its goal Tuesday, March 17th, as a Cole County judge heard arguments over the status of 100,000 signatures set aside in December. There is no doubt that people, not politicians, the Political Action Committee pushing for a
referendum
will meet the minimum goal of
11,071
signatures spread across 6 of the state's 8 congressional districts. Campaign Director Richard Von Glan said in an interview with The Independent. That's based on records from Secretary of State Denny Hawkins' office obtained through Sunshine Law requests for individual county reports. The petition, did I say it right this time?
Yeah.
Petition, yeah. The petition is nearing enough valid signatures despite Hoskins' refusal to send a local election authorities more than 100,000 signatures he claims are invalid. Hoskins has said any signatures collected before October 14th, the day he certified the form of the
referendum
petition, he says don't qualify.
Mm-hmm.
If the petition succeeds in putting the map to a statewide vote, the law forced through by Republicans in September will be put on hold. There's a picture of Richard Von Glan. Is that him? A campaign director of People Not Politicians, as he's unloading a box of petitions. December 9th of possibly last year.
Yes, of last year.
At the Missouri Secretary of State's office. People Not Politicians was in court on March 17th, asking for an order that all signatures would be delivered on December 9th and be checked by local election authorities. This photo is provided to Missouri Independent.
The photo is of Richard unloading boxes to another person.
That's what I said before.
Yeah.
Oh, it says that the signatures will be delivered on December 9th. Oh, so that's this year. But how can he be unloading a box of...
So this is a photo of December 9th when he's unloading the boxes of petitions to another person. We were just describing the photo. They'll give more context in the next part of the article.
Yeah. All right. The campaign's legal team, Chuck Hatfield and Alexandra Cossette.
Yeah, good job.
Nice names, guys. Were in court March 17th, again, asking Cole County Circuit
Judge
Christopher
Limbaugh
to order Hoskins to deliver the remaining signatures for validation. On December 12th,
Limbaugh
put his decision on hold, noting that he could order the additional signatures to be checked if the petition falls short, and the question would be moot. Moot? What? Moot? What's moot?
I can show you after.
Okay, would be moot if the petition is sufficient without them. Hatfield told Limbaugh, I am worried that what is going on here is an attempt to delay all this, and whatever happens, they are going to say it is too late. Attorneys Graham Miller, representing Hoskins, and Mark Eleanor, representing the Republican-backed Put Missouri First Political Action Committee, asked
Limbaugh
to leave his December decision in place. Miller said this court's triggers has not been met, and
Ellinger
asked
Limbaugh
to wait for more information and said, if they have enough signatures through the normal process, then these claims are entirely moot. If they don't have enough signatures through the normal process, then these claims can become live at that point.
Limbaugh
did not rule immediately, instead setting another hearing for April 7th. Republicans pushed the new map at the
insistence of President Donald Trump. The GOP is worried about losing its narrow majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. Republicans control 6 of Missouri's 8 congressional seats and won 7. The plan passed in September targets the 5th congressional district currently held by a U.S. Rep. Emmanuel Cleaver, a Kansas City Democrat. Opponents of the plan have already lost court cases over the authority of Governor Mike Kehoe to call the special session. The authority of lawmakers to revise the congressional map without the trigger of a new census report, and whether the maps meet constitutional standards for compactness.
However, an appeal of the case over whether lawmakers had authority to revise the map was heard last week by the Missouri Supreme Court, which has yet to issue a decision. The decision upholding Kehoe's authority is also being appealed. The petition has sufficient signatures in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th
Congressional.
districts to make the ballot according to data compiled by people not politician from county reports. In the 7th
Congressional.
district of Southwest Missouri, county clerks have found 18,404 valid signatures so far, with 18,599 needed and thousands left to be checked in Greene, Jasper, and Taney counties, Von Gaal said. Von Gaal also said, that does not mean we don't care if the other 100,000 signatures aren't reviewed or processed, because what the Secretary of State did to begin with is against the law, and those Missourians deserve to have that petition to their government recognized. A spokeswoman for Hoskins said previously in an email to the Independent that the numbers cited by Von Glenn are
preliminary
and still subject to review, verification, and certification by the Missouri Secretary of State.
If the referendum
succeeds in placing the
redistricting
plan on a statewide ballot, the outcome is not certain. New polling for St. Louis University /UGov shows that's what it shows.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading it as a continuing sentence.
It's okay.
The poll conducted between February 9th and February 22nd found 44% of Missourians oppose the map, while 41% support it. People not politicians have raised $6.3 million for its referendum campaign, while Missouri put
Missouri first.
The Republican-backed PAC organized to promote it has just raised $3.1 million. Under state statute, local elections authorities have until July 28th of this year to finish checking the signatures. If they take the full allowance, Hoskins would have until August 11th to issue a decision or whether enough valid signatures have been found to make the ballot. The primary election is this year in August 4th, but the ballots must be finalized on June 9th. It ends with Hadfield saying, they're going to wait until July, and then the secretary is going to do something, and they are going to say, oh, well, it's too late to do anything about this because the election is in August. That's the play, and that's what I'm trying to avoid.
All right. From the Springfield Business Journal, homeschool basketball championships drive at least $5.5 million in Springfield spending, Sports Commission says. Article written by Gregory Holman. This week marks the 2026 National Christian Homeschool Basketball Championships, taking place on 23 gym floors across Springfield, according to Lance Kettinger, Executive Director of the Greater Springfield Area Sports Commission, Incorporated. Kettinger said the commission, along with Visit Springfield, Missouri, estimates the economic impact of the homeschool basketball tournament as being worth some $5.5 million to $5.8 million in direct economic spending, with over 6,000 room nights for the event, comprising hotel and short-term rental stays. Teams begin arriving March 15th and compete through Friday, which means people will be in Springfield through Friday and Saturday, Kettering said in the email sent to Springfield Business Journal yesterday afternoon. This event is a true reflection of what makes Springfield successful in sports tourism: flexible, high-quality venues, strong local partnerships, and collaborative community approach, Kettering said. Having hosted the championship since 2009, it's a testament to the long-standing relationship and trust built between the event organizers, the Springfield Sports Commission, and Visit Springfield, all working together to consistently deliver a first-class experience. He added that 416 basketball teams are in competition for 97 programs hailing from 19 states, from Hawaii to Virginia, the largest number of teams ever for this event. Some 3,500 participants are joined by roughly 10,000 fans attending the games as spectators. A deal announced in November 2025 means the homeschooling community's basketball championships will remain in Springfield for an additional 5 years through 2030, according to past SPT reporting. The 5-year economic impact is expected to be approximately $30 million, Keatering said. Hosting this event shows Springfield can deliver major national basketball events, showcasing the strength of both the Springfield Sports Commission and Visit Springfield as trusted partners, Keatering said. He added that the 5-year extension for the championship builds long-term credibility and momentum, helping us attract even more high-profile events and drive continued visitor spending in our community.
Thank you for listening to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service. Tune in every week, Monday through Friday, on the Blind Community Thrift Store's YouTube channel at 10 a.m. for more up-to-date news from the Springfield News-Leader, Springfield Daily Citizen, Springfield Business Journal, and 417 Magazine. Listen after we are live on the Audio Reader Network at www.reader.ku.edu. All broadcasts are played over KSMU's subcarrier airways at 67 kilohertz on 91.1 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and you guys can contact Audio Reader Network for more information on receiving a pre-programmed radio. I'm Madison,
And I'm Savannah.
and we hope to see you guys soon.